You've done all the things. You're taking the bubble baths. You downloaded the meditation app. You're setting boundaries. You're still exhausted, down to your bones. That feeling you have, it isn't burnout. Well, let's be honest, burnout is the wrong name for it. It's the popular label, the diagnosis we all get, but it's not the disease. For the last few years, everyone has been telling you that you're exhausted from doing too much. But what if the real gut-punching problem is that you're suffering from too little? Not too little rest, but too little meaning. This isn't another self-help video with 5 tips to manage stress. This is a complete reframing of that exhaustion. We're going deep, using the wisdom of one of the 20th century's most profound thinkers, Viktor Frankl, to argue that your feeling of dread isn't a symptom to be cured. It's a signal. It's your brain, your soul, telling you that you are starving for a purpose. The great lie, it's not burnout, it's an existential vacuum. Let's talk about that specific feeling. I'm not talking about just being busy. I'm talking about that specific hollow ache you get on a Sunday night. That sense of dread. That feeling you get when you finish a massive project, hit a big goal, and the only thing you feel inside is nothing. Just, okay, what's next? We have all learned to call this burnout. We say we're overworked, we're overwhelmed, our tank is empty. And that's all true. The tank is empty. But an empty gas tank isn't the problem if the engine has been disconnected from the wheels. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who lived through the absolute worst humanity has to offer, had a name for this decades ago. He called it the existential vacuum. It's a brilliant term. A physical vacuum is a space devoid of all matter. An existential vacuum, Frankl said, is a life devoid of meaning. It's that inner emptiness, that gnawing boredom, that deep, unsettling sense that you are just drifting. This is the state of being where you have the means to live, you have a job, you have food, you have a roof over your head, but you have no meaning to live for. Frankl argued that this precise feeling of meaninglessness is the true root of so much of our modern anxiety, depression, and, yes, that feeling we call burnout. Think about it. You can be on the most beautiful beach in the world, on a vacation you planned for months, and still feel completely hollow inside. You can have the perfect life on paper, the one you're supposed to want, and still feel like a total fraud. That's the vacuum. Your exhaustion isn't coming from your full calendar. It's coming from your empty spirit. You're not just tired from your work. You're tired of your work. You're tired of the fundamental lack of a genuine point to all the effort. So all those bubble baths and long weekends, they're just trying to put a tiny bandage on a gaping spiritual wound. They can't fix a problem of meaning. Frankl's entire idea is built on this one powerful truth. A human being can survive almost anything if they have a clear purpose, but they will crumble under the weight of nothing, even if that nothing looks like a very comfortable, very successful life. That ache you feel isn't a weakness. It's not a bug. It's your will to meaning screaming for a little bit of food. And that brings us to the man himself. A man who proved this idea in a place where survival seemed impossible. The man who couldn't be broken, Frankl's will to meaning. So who is this man, Viktor Frankl? And more importantly, why should we listen to him about our 21st century exhaustion, our corporate burnout, our feeling of scrolling through life? Why him above all the gurus and productivity hackers? Because Viktor Frankl wasn't a productivity hacker. He was an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist who lived through the most profound darkness imaginable. In 1942, Frankl, his wife, his parents, and his brother were arrested and deported by the Nazis. He was sent to a series of concentration camps, including a stint at Auschwitz. This is an environment it's almost impossible for us to truly comprehend. It was a living hell. It was a machine designed systematically not just to kill the human body, but to annihilate the human spirit. Frankl was stripped of everything. His family, most of whom, including his pregnant wife, were murdered. His identity, he became a number. His dignity, he was starved, he was beaten, he was forced into brutal labor, and he was surrounded by death, disease, and despair every single second of every single day. And in this abyss, he, as a psychiatrist, began to observe. He watched what happened to his fellow prisoners. He saw that the people who were the first to die, the ones who just gave up and lay down in the barracks or walked into the electric fence, weren't always the ones who were the physically weakest. The people who gave up were the ones who had lost all hope. The ones who believed they had nothing left to live for. The ones whose why had been extinguished. But then, he saw something else. He saw the few who didn't give up. The ones who, against all logic and all odds, held on. And he asked the one question that would change his life and ours: what was the difference? The difference, he realized, wasn't physical strength. It wasn't intelligence. It was one thing. The survivors had a purpose. They had a why that was bigger than their suffering. Maybe it was the desperate, burning hope of seeing a specific loved one again. Maybe it was a project they felt they had to finish. For Frankl himself, it was his life's work, a book manuscript he was trying to mentally rewrite on scraps of paper. Or sometimes it was just the defiant, profound choice to bear their suffering with dignity, to prove that even when the world had taken everything from them, it could not take their freedom to choose their own attitude. They had a reason to endure the present because they were aimed at a future. This one earth-shattering observation changed psychology forever. Before this, the field was dominated by two other giants. Sigmund Freud had told us that our primary drive was a will to pleasure. Another psychologist, Alfred Adler, said no, it's a will to power. Frankl came out of that camp, having lost everything, and said, no, you are both wrong. The primary, most fundamental, and most powerful drive in every human being is a will to meaning. He created an entire school of therapy based on this one idea, logotherapy. Logos is the Greek word for meaning. It is quite literally therapy through meaning. And here is the part that it gives me chills every time I think about it. Frankl's big idea is that this will to meaning isn't just a nice to have. It's not a luxury. It is essential. It is like spiritual oxygen. Without it, we psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually begin to die. We collapse. And that is what so many of us are feeling right now. That's the burnout. That's the existential vacuum. It's not that your life is too hard. It's that your why isn't strong enough to hold the weight of it. You are experiencing the deep, profound pain of an unanswered, unfulfilled will to meaning. But here's the good news. Frankl didn't just diagnose the problem. He gave us the prescription. He believed that this dread, this emptiness you feel, it isn't your enemy. It's an invitation. It's your own conscience calling you out, begging you to find your purpose. The question is, how? Answering the call. Frankl's 3 paths to meaning even when you feel lost. So, that feeling of dread, that hollow ache, is a call. It's your will to meaning ringing the alarm bell. The best part about Frankl is that he didn't just leave us with the diagnosis. He gave us the prescription. He laid out a practical map, showing us exactly where human beings find the meaning they're starving for. And here's the key. He said you don't just find meaning like you find your lost keys. You don't just sit on a meditation cushion and think your way to it. Meaning is a byproduct. It's something you discover when you're busy living. He said meaning reveals itself to us in three primary ways. Three paths. If you feel lost, chances are you are disconnected from one or all of these. First is the path of creation. This is about what you give to the world. This is about having a task, a deed, a mission. It's about dedicating yourself to something outside of yourself. This is your why. Now, our culture immediately shoves this into the box of your job. And for some people, it is a doctor saving lives, a teacher building minds, an artist creating beauty. But Frankl was clear. This doesn't have to be your 9 to 5. Could be raising a child with intention and love. Could be mastering a craft in your garage. Could be volunteering for a cause that breaks your heart. Could be building a community garden. It is any work, paid or unpaid, that needs you. It's a responsibility that only you can fulfill. When you are pouring yourself into a task that matters, the question, what is the meaning of my life, disappears. You're too busy living it. The existential vacuum cannot survive in a life filled with a genuine mission. Second is the path of experience. This is about what you take from the world. This is the path of love, connection, and awe. It's about finding meaning not in doing, but in being. This is the meaning you find in loving another person so completely, their well-being becomes as important as your own. It's that moment you connect with a friend on such a deep level, you both feel truly seen. But it's not just people. It's also the meaning you experience when you stand in front of the ocean and feel genuinely small in a good way. It's the jolt you get listening to a piece of music so powerful it brings you to tears. It's encountering goodness, truth, or beauty in a way that just stops you in your tracks. You can find a lifetime of meaning in one of those single, profound moments of connection. Many people who feel burnt out are often just incredibly disconnected from others, from nature, and from themselves. And third, this is Frankl's most profound and most difficult path, the path of attitude. This is the path you take when the first two are stolen from you. This is for when you can't create. You lost the job, you're too sick to work. This is for when you can't experience. You're isolated, you've lost the person you love. This is the path of unavoidable suffering. Frankl, watching men die in the camps, realized the ultimate human freedom. He said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. When you are faced with a situation you absolutely cannot change, you are given one last, powerful opportunity to choose how you bear it. Do you face it with bitterness and despair? Or do you face it with dignity, with courage, with grace? This path transforms suffering from a meaningless torment into a human achievement. It gives your pain a purpose. The purpose is to become the person who is strong enough and brave enough to endure it. This is what turns a victim into a survivor. This is what turns a tragedy into a triumph of the human spirit. So let's go back to that feeling, that exhaustion, that burnout. It is not a sign that you are broken. It is not a weakness. It is a signal. It's a healthy, necessary alarm from the deepest part of you, telling you that you are starving for one of those three things. It's your will to meaning calling you to action. It's asking you, what task needs you? What person or what beauty are you here to connect with? And what challenges in your life are you refusing to face with the courage you actually have? Viktor Frankl proved that life doesn't owe us comfort. It doesn't even owe us happiness. But it always offers us meaning. You just have to be brave enough to answer the call. That's the core of logotherapy. And for me, it's the only real antidote to the existential vacuum we all feel. If this idea resonated with you, and you want to go deeper into the minds that can help us navigate the modern world, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're building a community here for exactly this kind of conversation. And now, I have a question for you. When you look at Frankl's 3 paths, creation, connection, and attitude, which one do you feel you're most disconnected from right now? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them, and I am genuinely curious to see where we're all feeling that vacuum the most. Thank you for watching.